she met my father. I think it's a miracle that I was ever born at all. I have obviously known my father all of my life, and he's been there from day one. And as I have grown up as a child in his house and then as an adult, I've been able to learn different things about my father. By the time I was 5 years old, I realized that my dad was fun. My dad was a lot of fun. He would do funny voices for us. He would do wrestling with us. He used to watch wrestling on ITV on Saturday mornings. And then he would be convinced that it was fake. And so what he would do is he would try out all the positions on Simon and me. And he'd be bending our arms and legs in weird positions, saying, "That's not hurting." We'd say, "It hurts." But he would make jokes, and he would do funny voices, and he would play with us. And he was always a fun man to be around. And I realized, even at the age of 5, that my dad was fun, and maybe that he was one of the most fun men that I knew. When I was 15, I was grown up, I was a teenager, and actually 15 is when I realized that my dad was inspiring. I used to have to listen to him preaching, and he was always my favorite preacher. In fact, a little while earlier, when I had my first birthday, that I was given money. I had my money. It was the first time I had money of my own that I was given for my birthday. And then I went to listen to my dad preach in the service in Nigeria. And he preached about giving and how God blesses the cheerful giver. And I was so inspired by my dad that I took all my money and I put it into the offering. And then when I was a teenager, I would sometimes travel with him when we were going, and he'd be preaching in different places around the country. And my job would be to accompany him and then to sell his books at the back. And he's written many books, and they're still available. So if you'd like to buy a book, you can actually see me at the back. I'll give you a good price. But I realized that my dad was inspiring, and he was maybe the most inspiring man that I know. Then when I grew up, I was 25 years old, and I was now in ministry. I was working as a national evangelist with Youth for Christ. And one day I said to Dad, I said, "Listen, can I come and shadow you in your work? Can I come and follow you as you go and meet with people and counsel them?" And he took me along, and we went visiting different people. I remember we went to meet one couple, and they were having big problems in their marriage. And as we sat down in front of them, they began to say what the issues were. And within 5 minutes, I could tell very easily what their problem was. But my dad wasn't able to catch up. He was lost for words. He wasn't speaking. He didn't say anything. And I knew at that point that I had now overtaken my father. Because I had a lot of experience in ministry. I had now 5 years of ministry under my belt. And I knew the answers, and I was sitting there thinking, why doesn't he say? Why doesn't he tell them? And on and on and on they talked, and then he talked, and then she talked, and then he said that, and she said that. And my dad just listened, and he asked questions, and I thought, come on, Dad, you can do this. I believe in you. And then after a long time, when they had all finished speaking, my dad said, "I think this might be something that you want to consider." And suddenly the clouds parted, smiles came out, they kissed one another, and the marriage was put back together again. And as we drove home, I said, "Dad, I knew the answer to that. The thing you said an hour later, I knew it way before you." And he said, "You and me both, son. But if I tell them the answer too soon, they won't take it." He said, "People want to know that they've been heard. They want to know that their perspective has been taken into account. They want to know that they've been able to air their grievance. They want to feel that you understand them, that you give them time, that you care for them. And then when you've given all of that to them, then you can give them the answer." And I realized at that time that my dad was wise. That he has knowledge about life, but he knows how to apply that knowledge, and that is what wisdom is all about. So when I was 5, I realized that my dad was fun, maybe the most fun man that I know. When I was 15, I realized that he was inspiring, maybe the most inspiring man that I know. And when I was 25, I realized that he was wise, maybe the most wise man that I know. But I tell you this, I have continued to grow, and I now have a family of my own, and I'm still learning things about my father. And now I am 45 years old, and looking out and being here with you at this time for my father, I realize that not only is he fun, not only is he inspiring, not only is he wise, but maybe most importantly, he's loved. And I think that is the best thing about my dad, that he might just be the most loved man that I know. So I would like to add my tributes to all of yours and say, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
Hello. How am I supposed to follow that? You try being in a family of 3 amazing orators. Anyway, I do what I do, and I'm going to sing this afternoon rather. That's what I do. But it is a privilege to be here, and it's really lovely for all the people who've come to perform and sing and worked really hard. It's been fantastic. I'm sure Brother Paul will say this later, but everyone appreciates all the work you've done. What? Anyway, yeah. I don't know what to say to add to what Philip and Mummy Kate has already said, except that we've made sure that the doors have been extended in order for Dad's head to fit through when he leaves this afternoon. There you go, that's about the only gag you're going to get from me this afternoon. One thing that hasn't really been mentioned about Brother Paul is that he's very contemplative as well. And if you read what I said, there's a lot going on in his head that not many people can see what's going on there. You can see the thoughts whirring around. And I said it's a bit like a coconut. You have to really work hard to get at the fruit. But it's worth it in the end. So, love you very much, Dad. That's all I need to say. Brother James, hit the music, sir. This is a song called Dry Soul. Get it pumping, James. Is that loud enough in the front? 1, 2. A bit down on the monitors, up in the main speakers, down on the monitors, up in the main speakers. When this dry soul, those eyes shall see, and drink the heavy flow and sealed in thee. All that am shall be realized, and every prayer of man materialized. When this dry soul's eyes shall see, when this dry soul's eyes shall see, when this heavy load your arms will bear, and into every life your blinding stare, some of all truth every hope and dream will not die in vain. When this dry sorrows I shall see, when this dry sorrows I shall see. And the river runs into my soul. And the river runs into my soul. See, when this dry sorrows I shall see, when this dry sorrows I shall see, when this dry sorrows I shall see.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He said he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. The Lord which keepeth me, he will not slumber nor sleep. For the Lord is my keeper, the Lord is my shade upon thy right hand, upon thy right hand. For the sun shall not smite me by day, nor the moon by night. He shall preserve my soul, even forevermore. Oh, my help, all of my help cometh from the Lord. You did not wait for me to cry out to you, but you clothe yourself in plain humanity. You did not wait for me to draw near to you, but you let me hear your voice calling me, and I'm forever grateful to you, and I'm forever grateful for the cross, and I'm forever grateful to you.
Therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us. Looking, let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like an eagle. They shall walk and not be weary. They shall run and not faint. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore, take on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand within those evil days, having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints. Do not be afraid by them, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Many are the affliction of the righteous. Many are the affliction of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?